Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. It's been a long time since I've done a video, I realize. It's been almost a year. So what's happened in a year? I've been basically working. I guess the same issue we all face is finding time for stuff. Videos are pretty time consuming, I've learned. The filming part's not so bad, there's a lot of camera movement and things like that. But the editing of it takes an awful long time. The last video I worked on, I had gotten a Rangate bandsaw and had filmed all the unboxing, the setting up and everything else, and then during the editing process, looking at the video, I realized that a lot of the video suffers from things that us larger folk like myself suffer from with the old plumber's butt crack showing half the videos, or half of the times I'm bent over doing something, and I thought, well, should I even release this? Should I try to blur it out or whatever? But anyway, so it's sitting on the editing room floor, as they say at this time. So maybe that's something I'll come out with at some point, and I'll make it adult only or whatever if it's something that people really want to watch. I promise the rest of it's pretty informative, but the unnecessary butt crack could probably be taken out or edited out. I've been working away. I just finished my busy season. All the the last 3-4 weekends have been basically working craft sales, which is a real slog because it's typically a Friday mid-afternoon to evening, all Saturday night, and then Sunday till like supper time, and then tear down. So, and I work these usually alone. My wife will usually come and relieve me so I can relieve myself once throughout the day, but it's they're a long day. But that's pretty much kind of like, I guess, a crescendo of a year of work, right? So build stock for almost a year straight, and then you do these sales in a row, and you just slowly get through your stock and then see what's left. Take kind of an inventory, which I'm kind of doing now, putting everything back out where it's supposed to be. Take an inventory and then start making again and decide, like, maybe some things didn't sell well, I won't do again. The big difference I've noticed this year from previous years is price point, probably being the main thing. So typically in sales, I would do a lot of, in craft sales, I would do a lot of cutting boards, that sort of thing would sell. This year, very few things above $30 sold in any amount. I kind of suspected it would be that way, so I made a lot of like $30 cutting boards, just smaller guys. Had a lot of like the small dishes done with the CNC, $20 range, all the way down to stuff that was like $5, like business card holders and little things like that, bookmarks, keychains, things that people can afford to get for gifts. That's probably the biggest thing I've learned now, is that just because of everything costing so much, nobody has a lot of money to spend. So you kind of learn those things, and you adapt. That's what we all do. So today the reason I'm got you all here is I finally ordered myself a Rangate. For those of you not in the know, I guess, or haven't seen videos, it's basically like a high-tech glue gun. It doesn't use hot glue, it uses our own kind of proprietary sticks. This is not a sponsored video. Man, I wish I could have sponsored videos, but that's not in the cards for me. This is just something I've seen for a while, and every time I've seen it, like, man, that would save me a lot of time. What I do today is I typically use CA glue. So I use like the black thick CA glue. And so for stuff like, especially charcuterie boards, like live edge stuff, there's always voids. So I typically would do, a little bit of CA glue, set them all aside, come back the next day, more CA glue, set them aside. And I'll do that sometimes, 3-4 days of gluing to get it built up enough that I can get to the point, okay, now I can sand it off and the cracks are filled. It's kind of mixed results. And doing that, I find, like, sometimes with, when you sand, like, that's when you see the voids that maybe the glue didn't get, or sometimes it leaks out places. The fumes are pretty bad off of them. Using that kind of glue, it really does burn your nasal passages a lot. So I've been looking for another solution. I've seen these on probably like Instagram, I mean, you see like the glue gun thing, and then the aluminum block, and then the chisel to clean it off, and my curiosity's always been there. So I've had it in my cart most likely a half dozen times on their website, and then I kind of chicken out because I just, I'm a cheapskate, I guess. I hate spending money. The last time I did it, was only a few weeks before Black Friday. And so I got an email from the company saying, you know, you left something in your cart. It's Black Friday, so it was like $170 less. And so I was like, well, you know what? I'll take that as a sign and I'll finally bite the bullet and do this. So I haven't even opened the box. So I, you know, as a true unboxing, I haven't taken the shipping labels off. I haven't done anything. It's brand new, ready to hit the air. So let's see, I guess, together if this is all the hype kind of adds up or what it is. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for coming back, and I do appreciate you all, and hope you guys are all doing well. Let's get this thing out of the box. All right, so here we are. You'll be, as you can, I'm sure you can tell by the background, I've really put an effort to clean the shop up pristine before I shot this video. I mean, this is the reality of, you know, this time of year, right? It's the rush time of year. There's literally wood stuff everywhere. You know, underneath my lathe, a pile of chips. I got bags full of stuff. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But onward and upward, as they say. Yeah, so this, I think they have US shipping and they have Canadian shipping. So the one I've got came from their Vancouver location. Look at that, very well packed, which is always nice to see. Lots of paper and the like. Okay, so package number one. This is actually the rods. And I believe it comes with, I'm trying to remember now when I ordered it. I think it comes with a pack of rods in here, and then there's this one. Well, we can only open one of them, but it says basically closed bag tightly after use. And it's a warning about the heat because, you know, it will be a burn hazard, right? So, so yeah, so these are like, that's the full length of them. So they're, you know, they're not like a little glue stick or anything like that. They're pretty big. I opted for black. They have basically every color, like the wood match basically, right? So you go all the way from like ebonies right up to like pine colors. One of the big differences with these is you can sand them and then you can actually stain them, and they should stain match. I do mostly like walnut stuff and olive wood for charcuterie boards. And honestly, with those, I find I almost want to accent the issues, because that's kind of what makes them look like live edge. So I don't really have any problem with that stuff. Yeah, so set of instructions right on top of the box. Let's get the main box out. I don't think there's anything else in here, so we'll throw this aside. You know, with the rest of the junk. All right, here's the main star. Rangate knot filler system, or knot filler system, which is the phrase. Lots of packing paper, which is great. Actually, I think that must be the only set of rods, because I don't see anything else in here. Okay, so here's the main unit, which I will bring a little closer. This guy off the back. So, like I said, it's basically, it does look like a glue gun, but it's kind of like a glue gun if it was on steroids. So it's like high temp and, you know, quite large. It's like I can basically get 4 fingers on the trigger, which, yeah, as you can imagine, it's pretty large compared to a normal glue gun. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a glue gun. So that's probably the simplest. They have things, I'm sure they get that a lot because they have stuff on the website saying, you know, they're not glue sticks. And that's probably the reason, is a lot of people probably say that. Cord, I would say, is probably, I can step on the end here, I'd say it's about a solid 8-foot cord on it, which for a shop should be pretty good. There are temperature settings below. I'm going to bring this up so you can see here. So there's a dial here, and it's a different temperature setting depending on the type of rod. I remember looking on their website, and the ebony one, I'm not sure why, it's the highest heat. So there must be something with like the lighter colors maybe don't take the same melting point. Within said box, we have a little baggie with a spare tip. There's actually another little thing here for the end. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put that on. I could probably read the instructions to know that. That's where that screw goes. I think that's like a speed thing, but yeah, there's like another clip here that I would say you're supposed to put on the very, very end. I'm guessing that's to make sure that it doesn't tip forward onto anything. Ooh, can I do this with one hand? Maybe. There we go. So I added the little clip on the end. Bring that up so you can see. I'm assuming that's just like an extra precautionary thing, so when it leans forward, it doesn't accidentally tip over onto the end and burn whatever you're sitting on. And then there's this little set screw, which is, looking at the instructions here, and it says trigger stroke adjuster. Ooh, that sounds interesting, eh? Before powering up, screw on the adjuster on the end of the heat gun. Oh, it says optional is the short end, but we'll leave it on there anyway. So I'm assuming this is just so you don't over pull that trigger and dump half the stick out at one time. I'm going to put it to wherever the set screw was. So yeah, and then so yeah, next in the package we've got everything is very well wrapped in paper, as you can tell when the unwrapping. This would definitely be the chisel. I can tell by the shape. Ooh, very nice. So yes, chisel with a little kind of protective trim on it. So I'm going to bring this up so you can see the edge. Hopefully it focuses on that. But yeah, very cool. Now I'm not sure if I'll be able to put an edge back on this the way it is, but we may have to get that professional to help with that when the time comes. I'll find a nice place to store that spare end too, I'm guessing. Okay, and then back into the rest of the box. We have another tiny little box, which will be our aluminum block. So this is basically a cooling block, is essentially all it is. So you put in the hot goo, and then you drop the cooling block on it, which speeds up the hardening, and I'm assuming like keeps it from contracting this way and up out of the crack, so that way kind of push it. Oh man, this is the descriptions, eh? This helps fill the crack up, and then once the crack is filled, you come with this flush chisel, and you run across the surface and takes off any excess, and then you just give it a light sand. So yeah, so let's get this garbage out of the way here, and I'm sure I must have something here that I can use to fill, and we will run a test on this guy. Just get it plugged in and heating up first, I guess, too. Right back. Welcome back. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this in handheld mode because you know, it's hard to get close enough with this tripod kind of in the way. So yeah, it looks like we're at temp because we've got some stuff coming out over here now. So if you see, I got a little knot here. This is actually apple wood, little things. So I'm going to put a little of this on here. Try to fill this knot hole up a little bit. Hopefully I've got this hot enough. I kind of rushed it along, but put the block on it to get it chilled. And there it is. Wow, look at that. Okay. And then basically, hopefully, again, do this one-handed. You run this chisel along. Oh my gosh, is that ever nice and sharp? Now I may have some splinters sticking up there. Ooh, nice. Wow, that's really good. So here's the little part that got cut off. Just a little, and you can see in that one shot that filled her up. Now I'm going to give it a little quick jab with the Merca here. Sorry about the noise. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I didn't clean it up, but you can see if I just put a little bit of water on there. Nice. Yeah, it's nice and black too, which I like a lot. Currently, when I'm doing these, typically this is what I've been using, is the Starbond. That's what I've been using now for 2 or 3 years. And it does take an awful long time to do what you need to do. Yeah, so anyway, that's it's just that easy. I'm surprised actually how quick that is. It wasn't hot at all to the touch, like right after I brought that cooling block off, which is really just a big thick piece of milled aluminum, but it does what it's supposed to do. This guy is, hopefully it'll focus enough, but you can tell it's pretty much razor sharp. I'm going to leave the protector on this because I have a tendency to drop things. And hopefully this will stay sharp for a very long time. All these things you can order, just the onesies from their website, obviously. This is the one pack of fillers, so I think there's 10 rods. Or maybe 12 rods, actually. I don't know how long they'll last. That kind of remains to be seen. It took about half the rod just to fill up the gun itself. See, it's dripping here a little bit now. I actually did turn it off, but you know, that long rod, half of it is now in the gun. So it would suck probably if you were switching colors. You would actually have to like run, you know, this rod through, because I'm guessing the heating element's probably here-ish. You would have to push all of that stuff out and kind of waste it. But if you were, especially if you're switching to a lighter color. But I don't imagine I'll be doing that very often. I think I'll probably just stick with the black. Hang on here, we'll move this back. Yeah, so overall, I gotta say I'm actually pretty impressed. I mean, I've watched so many Instagram videos and TikToks of this being used. None of it's a real mystery on how it was gonna work for me. I can't remember what the overall cost in this was. It's like definitely over $300. I'm trying to remember what it was. Pretty pricey. I mean, obviously for, you know, an industrial glue gun, it seems like an awful lot, but I get it. It's like, this is their technology. It's a branded product. I mean, it's trademarked. That's how these things are. Over the amount of gluing, I'll be honest, one of the biggest parts is the fumes for me. I've been using CA glue for so long, and you know, in an old job, I used to build flight cases for like touring bands. And basically my job was using contact cements all day. I find like you get to a point where you're like, you kind of, you know, it's the dust from sanding, it's the fumes from stuff, and even the dust from some of the weird woods that I like to use in cutting boards. After a while, you kind of get to the point where you're like, holy crap, I want to breathe clear, you know, for a day in the shop would be nice. And I find doing the CA glue stuff a lot. I end up using so much of it sometimes that you can feel your eyes burning, your nose is burning. You're like, this probably isn't healthy. I mean, the question is like, why not wear a mask? I think we're all as guilty as each other that, you know, yeah, I've got a mask and it even has the fume things. But, you know, a lot of time when you're doing stuff quick, you're like, well, do I take a whole beat and put on a mask? Of course not. You know, life's too short for masks. You know, you engage safety squints, hold your breath, and away you go. We all do it, so it is kind of, that's the way things go. I'm hoping this will be better than CA glue, because, you know, it's kind of always one of those things when people say, oh, there's a crack, and you go, oh no, I fixed it, you know, it's been repaired. But if you say like, oh, it was like a crazy glue, people kind of get weird about it, even though it's CA glue is just as good as epoxy in that kind of small hairline kind of crack size. Filling larger knots probably wouldn't be as well with CA glue. I mean, you could do it, it would just take forever. And it doesn't dry very well once you start getting in any kind of like size, I find. The other kind of good use I think that I might use this for is I'm going to do some cabinet painting here in my home. I have a home that was built probably early 90s. And because of that, you know, the people that built it, it's like honey oak as far as the eye can see. You know, upper cabinets that go right to the ceiling. Like it says, for some reason though it was built in the 90s, they were like, you know, we'd love to have like a 70s style built in the 90s. There was paneling, you know, and this is built in the 90s. But they still had like an accent wall of paneling, you know, chain lights, the whole 9 yards. It was very much a 70s palace in here. But, you know, changing all the hardware over on those doors, I'm probably gonna have to fill all the original hardware holes. So I think that'll be coming pretty handy for that, over using, you know, wood fillers or body filler or anything like that. Yeah, so overall, you know, it's, I guess it's, I mean, there's no point probably giving it a rating in the sense that it's exactly what I knew it would be when I ordered it. So it's exactly what I expected. I would probably recommend it to someone. I don't know. I'm going to probably say at the end of next year, we'll see if I burn through these rods in like a month. Because, you know, right now charcuterie boards aren't selling as well as they did once did. So I'm not filling holes probably the same amount that I was when they were a hot seller. I've got some stuff here from some apple trees that I had here in the yard that I've got to, they got to get finished up, and those do need some filling, like the board I just did. Yeah, so I mean, safety-wise, I mean, depending on what you value your own lungs at, that alone I think was probably worth the while for someone that's doing this, you know, 5 nights a week and weekends. If you were only doing it a once in a while thing or doing it as a hobby, I think the CA glue for I think it's $12 a bottle, which is kind of extreme, admittedly. That's Canadian, mind you, so that's like Canada bucks. So I mean, that's what, probably $2 US. It's enough though, you know, to be doing it. Well, I got my heaters just coming on. We are in Atlantic Canada, so it is fairly chilly here now. I think we're about -10 Celsius. So the heat comes on every 5 or so minutes. Yay, power bill. Yeah, so anyway, CA glue for me, I'm just, you know, I'm pretty much kind of past it. So we'll try the Rangate out for this year, and that was kind of like my gift for the year of work. There's that, and I've got a new chop saw coming in, a new miter saw, which I'm going to build cabinets for. Hopefully I'll do a video on the cabinets. I'll definitely do an unboxing of the Bosch saw, which for me will be a huge upgrade from the Canadian Tire Mastercraft, you know, on sale $200 12-inch miter saw I'm using today, which, I mean, the laser's already fallen off it in the first year, and it's a pretty hurting unit. You know, got me through a pinch, but it's ready for an upgrade. Yeah, so anyway, you know, apologies for the year between videos. I'll try to get a few done this winter while the orders are a little slower. Hope you guys are all doing great, and I hope you guys all have a great holiday coming up, which is only frighteningly enough in 19 days to Christmas at this point. And thank you for all the times you guys have commented. I try to reply to comments even if I'm not making videos. I always try to make sure I get right back to you guys that take a minute to say something. You know, I really do appreciate it. And hope you guys are all well. Thanks a lot. Take care.